Hey, what's up, guys? Gaburan Choirs here. This is gonna be the Kickstarter to a new video series in which I will be going over all the Kabbalistic spheres and their attributes and associations and etc. Essentially everything associated with these spheres and whatnot, these Kabbalistic spheres or these points in the sky or the astral plane. In any case, starting off with Venus. So yeah, Venus is a Kabbalistic sphere represented in the Tree of Life, okay, in the Hebrew Kabbalah. And for those of you who are familiar with that, I will be going over everything. So Venus in the Kabbalah is called Netzach, okay, and in Hebrew it is called Kokab or Kokab, something similar. And it rules over Taurus and Libra as a zodiacal sign. And the things that Venus deals with or rules over is essentially, from a Libra perspective, it deals with forming bonds via influence, such as love bonds, friendship bonds, business relationships, you name it. Anything that falls under the line of influencing someone, okay? Because this is something that Venus deals with alongside Mercury and something else. But yeah, Mercury something else entirely. In any case, so yeah, it also deals with beauty. So one's beauty, one's physical appearance as well as apparel. Okay, one's facial structure as well as bodily structure. It deals with the polishing of one's character. Okay, so essentially making one full, essentially making one whole, or well balanced, and etc. Last but not least is clairvoyance, okay, because clairvoyance is also something that Libra deals with, because clairvoyance not only does a water element or a water sign deals with clairvoyance, but also aerial signs, okay. So yeah, Libra is one of them. Libra deals with clairvoyance to a moderate extent, and a perfect example for this is someone like Asmodee, the fallen angel or infernal angel Asmodee. Asmodee is skilled in clairvoyance and just spiritual faculties in general. And yeah. So that is pretty much the things that Venus rules over from a Libra perspective. Now, I'm gonna begin going over the Taurus aspects and all the stuff that Taurus rules over and deals with. So from a Taurus perspective, it deals with the material wealth, and it deals with material wealth and or possessions, as well as the earth to a moderate extent, and money. Okay, so money. And that is pretty much everything that Venus rules over, really. Nothing else. So yeah, let's begin with its ruler. Okay, so because honestly, that's pretty much it that you have to know with Venus. But generally speaking, I'll go over the logistics of everything about Venus and whatnot. So yeah, for those of you who are familiar with who rules over this sphere, kabbalistically speaking, as well as in all reality, is my third patron Hanya. So my thrice Lord Hanya, his seal is here. And yeah, Archangel Haniel or Anael, you can call him both, he doesn't mind. But I simply prefer to call him Haniel. Not only that, but it's his literal name, okay? It's his literal name. In any case, so yeah, my beloved thrice Lord, my third patron Hania rules over the seventh sphere of the Sephiroth, which is Netzach. He also rules over Taurus and Libra. Okay, Haniel is a Elohim, so he falls under the Kori or order of angels that is called or referred to as Elohim. Not only that, but the holy name that rules over this Kabbalistic sphere is Yahweh Sabaoth. So it's called Yahweh Sabaoth. This holy name, that's the holy name that rules over this path, the seventh path essentially. So yeah, its zodiacal sigil or symbol is right here, what I'm essentially wearing on this stool. So yeah, that is pretty much all on Venus, okay? So Nothing more really. I could pretty much end this video right here, but I'm gonna continue on, okay? I'm gonna go over everything about Venus. Literally even how it looks like in the astral plane when you astral travel to this sphere, what to expect when you're in the sphere, and etc. So yeah. And generally speaking, my experiences with what I've seen and dealt with Venus and whatnot in relation to me astral traveling to it, because to go over everything that I've experienced with Venus would be way too long of a video and it's not necessary. So yeah, in general, I astral traveled to Venus yesterday. So today is the day of Saturn, so it's the day of Binah, the third sphere of the Sephiroth. But yeah, I simply just didn't get to it with the video because I got too busy. So I wanted to do so today. So yeah, I astral traveled to Venus yesterday while it was at its strongest. Okay, so Venus was at its strongest, obviously. Kabbalistically speaking, these planets rule over a specific day, and Venus rules over Friday. Okay, so yeah, and I simply just decided to astral travel to Venus and whatnot. So yeah, I simply got to it. I astral traveled to Venus, and while I was there, I simply just began looking around, and it's way different than the way that I perceived it when I remote viewed Venus way back. Okay, so Venus in the astral plane, or generally speaking, with, let's just say, with my current level, okay, because it all has to do with your proficiency as an occultist. Obviously, everything has to do with your proficiency and how skilled you are. So your skill level in general, but for me, essentially, Venus came. It looks like what I'm about to explain. So, generally speaking, everything is just nice, beautiful grass plains. Okay, perfect grass plains. I'm talking really perfect, cutthroat perfect. Okay, there's no specks or imperfections anywhere. Literally, everything is just perfect, and I can't explain it in any other way than the aforementioned. Honestly, okay, and it houses beautiful flowers and whatnot, all different kinds of flowers just spread out across the landscape of Venus. Not only that, but even flowers that I've never even seen before, honestly, literally. Okay, just stuff that I'm not familiar with in relation to plants and etc. So yeah. What else? And I simply just went ahead and I picked up a flower from the ground, and I proceeded to sniff the flower to see if I get any scent from it and whatnot. And it does smell beautiful. It smells really, really beautiful, really gorgeous. Okay, everything is just 10 times better than what you would expect with mundane nature. Okay, on from the physical plane. So yeah, and what else? After I proceeded to grab the flower and sniff it, I simply just went down. I sat down essentially in meditating position, and I went ahead to absorb as much Venusian energy that I possibly could and whatnot. But I only did so for like a minute or two before I got up, and I was like, nah, it's okay, it's okay, there's no problem. And I simply just went ahead and I looked up. Okay, so I looked up to the sky in Venus, which is beautiful. Okay, it's a mundane sky, but it's beautiful. Okay, everything in the astral plane is just completely perfect, no imperfections anywhere. Everything is just, it's just beautiful. Okay, you have to see it for yourself to understand what I'm referring to. So yeah, I looked up in the sky in Venus, and I saw my third patron Hanian just hovering over everything, making sure that everything is going accordingly and whatnot. And I simply called him down over to me and whatnot. And yeah, he simply just came my way, and I simply just began greeting him. I said, "Hi, Hanian. I'm here in your sphere. I really enjoy your sphere and etc. and everything." And we simply just, we were just going over everything, okay, in relation to what I have experienced. I'm sorry, what I've experienced with my stay in Venus. Um, Not only that, but Hania went ahead and mentioned to me that that he saw me. He saw me from the moment I literally walked in there. He noticed that I was there. He simply just didn't assess me because he just didn't deem it as necessary, honestly, unless I called upon him. And not only that, but he mentioned that there's no need for me to sit down and meditate, okay, while I'm there, because I will absorb enough Venusian energy by simply just being there, literally, by simply just being there. Okay, the energy gets channeled, and it flows through me and whatnot entirely, and it radiates within my astral body. So there's no need for me to sit down and meditate. So yeah, by just simply interacting with the landscapes and just simply being there, as I stated, you gather enough Venusian energy to go about and, you know, bring the energy back to your astral body. So yeah, I simply acknowledged what he said. I took it under consideration, and we began just walking around. And while I was there, I also pointed out a spirit that I saw in the distance, and I asked him, hey, this guy looks different. I never saw something like that before. One night, he looks a bit different. And he told me that that was simply just a planetary intelligence. It was one of the planetary intelligences, like Kedemel. Okay, for those of you who are familiar with planetary magic, you guys know what's up with Kedemel. Okay, that planetary intelligence or planetary spirit Kedemel. And yeah, but it simply just looked different from my vantage point. Okay, and from a, let's just say, when I'm at a heightened extent or when I'm at a heightened level, that I'll perceive him more detailed and etc. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. That's why he looks like the way he does. And yeah, after that, I simply just, I was good to go. But before I did so, before I moved on and enjoyed the rest of Venus for myself, I simply went ahead and told him if he can please show me his size. Okay, so his full size, his actual size essentially. Okay, because archangels, okay, or angels in general, but specifically archangels, these guys are really, really tall. They're really fucking tall, literally. Let's just say that. They're really tall. So I simply had him show me his full size and whatnot. Or to the best in his ability, in which what I can perceive and handle in relation to his full size. And yeah, he said, okay, no problem, Eduardo. So he simply just began literally growing in size, literally. And this guy became so tall, so freaking huge and tall, to the point in which his head was almost touching the surface of the clouds, or the bottom of the clouds, literally. Like his head almost passed the clouds and etc. It almost went past the clouds. So yeah, it was just gorgeous, man. That was really something amazing to see. And I simply floated. I had to begin flying and whatnot. I simply began flying and floating up all the way up to his head. And I was just like, wow, like, I was just telling him, wow, Mona, like, this is gorgeous, like, I never saw you in this height, in this manner before, Haniel and whatnot, because obviously he can't do so like that, he can't do so like that within the physical plane, okay, he was only able to do something like that for me in the astral plane, but in the physical plane, when he appears before me, he is tall, he's tall as fuck, okay, relatively tall, this guy's tall, but he, like I said, I wanted him to show me his full height. And he tried, and he did so, okay, to the best of his ability. And to correspondence, and within correspondence to me, okay? So essentially how much I can handle as an occultist and my skill level as of now. And that is really tall, okay? Let's just say, okay, Haniel was essentially as tall as a skyscraper that you'll find in metropolises and etc. So New York, Singapore, what else? Dubai, Tokyo, shit like that, okay? Literally, stuff like that. So yeah, that's essentially how tall Haniel was. And I was just praising him and whatnot in relation to just how beautiful it looks. So yeah, after everything, I simply to keep a long story short, I simply cut ways with him, okay? And and I just went on from there by myself throughout his sphere. And when I, in acknowledging the moment, what just previously happened within that instance of me being in Venus, I recalled a moment, okay, a similar instance in which I had a dream, in which Abaddon. So okay, so it wasn't a dream. It was essentially Abaddon and a few other spirits visiting me within my dream. Okay, so Abaddon, Ejin, a Maimon, and Audience. These four guys visited me within my dreams, and these guys were essentially just, they were just acknowledging me within my dream and whatnot, and they wanted to show me their true form. Okay, so how they really look essentially, and they went ahead and did so. Okay, first it was Abaddon. Abaddon essentially. These guys all grew in height. Okay, these guys were as tall as Hania was in the astral plane, in Venus, and they were just standing side by side to each other, okay, So audience, Ejin, Maimon, and Abaddon were simply just standing alongside each other. They were in full height, full form, and they took their actual appearance, okay? And Abaddon essentially took the appearance of, let's just say, something with black robes. It was a humanoid shape, obviously, but he had pale skin. He was wearing black robes. He was bald and whatnot. He was literally just bald, and his eyes were like black. Okay, they were just pure black, and it also had like markings and etc. under the eyes, and yeah, that was pretty much it. And Egens, an audience, and a Maimon all took a similar shape as well, but they just had different colorizations and etc. Different colorizations and color palettes, etc. So yeah, that was pretty much that, and it was beautiful. But while I was in the dream, I was in the Clefoth. It looked like I was in some infernal plane, etc. Or, you know, it looked like I was just in some infernal plane. Okay, while they were taking the shape in which they did. So I was like, okay, wow, this is really beautiful, really amazing, and that was it really. So I recalled that dream while I was in Venus. And since I recalled and put emphasis on these guys, they all appeared before me while in Venus. Literally, they all appeared before me while being right there. And essentially, Abaddon appeared before me and etc. And he was teasing me about something that, that we both know what's up with. Not only that, but, these guys were just, they simply just told me that, hey, the reason why they appeared is because I simply just, I was putting emphasis on their names and I caught their attention and they simply just came my way. Not only that, but since they simply just wanted to visit me while I was just in the astral plane, okay, just looking around and whatnot. Since I was already there, they just wanted to stop by and say hello, essentially. So I was like, okay, yeah, no problem, no problem. And I told Abaddon and these guys what I was thinking about and how I was recalling them visiting me in my dream and whatnot. And yeah, I essentially told them that, hey, I told specifically Abaddon this. If Abaddon could essentially take his actual true form for me, okay? So, not his true form, so his literal true form, but essentially his celestial form to show me how he looked before he fell as an angel. Because I'm so used to seeing Abaddon as a fallen angel and his infernal aspect as well as Ejin and audience and etc. and a Maimon. Well, a Maimon has already showed me his celestial form. No. Yeah, that was someone else. That was someone else. I was confusing him with C3. But yeah, no, these guys, I'm just so used to them. I'm just so used to seeing them in their infernal form. So I was like, yeah, if you guys could please show me your celestial form, I'd be grateful and whatnot. So Abaddon essentially told me, okay, since it's you, Eduardo, I'll show you. And he simply just showed me, okay? He was the first one to take his celestial form. These guys all began shapeshifting, okay? And Abaddon was the one who showed me first his form. And Abaddon took in a beautiful appearance, okay? He was wearing, it was that of a destructive looking angel with gothic features and etc. Okay, he was nice and Caucasian with nice long black hair, wavy black hair that goes, it's almost like my hair, okay? With the Roman armor like chest plate. Okay, he was wearing a garment that goes from his waist down to his knees, and some sandals and whatnot. And he was holding like I think it was either a spear or some kind of staff or something. And he had three wings. Okay, so he had three wings. Basically a reference to him being a seraphim before he fell. Not only that, but audience also took a similar appearance, but he had more reddish color accents, okay, compared to Abaddon. Abaddon's color aspects or color accents was mostly black, okay, so it was black and bronze essentially. Versus Audience's armor, it was bronze as well, or golden. It was a bit more brighter than Abaddon's, but his garment was red, okay, and the sleeve that he was wearing under his chest plate was red as well. And his ring, he also had three wings as well. So he had three wings, but his wings was like intertwined with reddish green. Okay, so his three wings was also reddish greenish in nature. It was just beautiful. Okay, these guys are really appealing to look at. And an audience had like blonde curly hair that goes down to his shoulders and whatnot, and his eyes was literally just red. Okay, so it was just beautiful, a beautiful red. So his pupils, essentially. And so yeah, that was pretty much audience. Egen took a Egens was wearing like a robe. He was wearing like a robe essentially, okay? And his robe was literally just, it was sky bluish, okay? It was a sky bluish robe with orange stuff here and there, like an orange sash, and and what else? And like he was also wearing like a garment that goes from his, but this was a long garment, okay, that goes from his waist all the way down to his feet. Okay, I couldn't really see his sandals too much because he was wearing a long robe. And yeah, that was pretty much Egen. And Egen was also holding like a staff, but this had like a ball on it. It had like a sphere on it. And the sphere was like orange. What else? And a Maimon. A Maimon was a bit different, okay? Because a Maimon. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's like fireworks going on in the background, so please excuse that if you can hear it. People are essentially just celebrating right now. Since tomorrow's gonna be Father's Day and etc. So these guys are like, they're amped up. In any case, so yeah, and a Maimon took a bit of a different appearance. A Maimon essentially, he looked similar to these guys, okay? But the thing with a Maimon is that he was very ethereal, okay? He was very ethereal. The guy was very ethereal in nature. He was see-through. He was more see-through than the other guys, and it's just due to his nature, okay? Since a Maimon corresponds to Aquarius, but he mostly has strong Piscean attributes. So the Piscean attributes are heavily in play here with his form. And he was wearing black robes, okay? And the colors to his robes was black and white and whatnot. And a Maimon had he had like brownish hair, and his eyes was simply just, it was like bronze. It was nice bronze. It was like it was a very nice brown, okay? So very nice brown. And yeah, the guy was just, he just looked very handsome, okay? He was also Caucasian in nature, and also wearing sandals and etc. And that was pretty much it. He wasn't really holding anything. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention what audience was holding. He was holding a stereotypical sword, okay? So it was like a gray sword. And that was pretty much all. So that's the form that these guys took from me. But imagine this, everything that I just mentioned, but really huge. These guys were really, really fucking huge in appearance, okay? Really big. Okay, as tall as Haniel, but not so much. Because Haniel is way taller than these guys. And I was just like, wow. I was just blown away, okay? I was just blown away. These guys were just really huge in their full appearance. And it was just great to see, honestly. So yeah, after that, I simply just thanked them for the showcase, the display, really. And I simply went my way, okay? After I simply just parted ways with them, I walked a further distance away from everyone else, and I simply just told myself, okay, I will be returning to my physical body now. Okay, I enjoyed my stay in the astral plane in Netzach. Okay, and I made a countdown from 10 to 1. Okay, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, boom, boom. And then I um I essentially came back to my physical body, and the moment that my astral body came back to my physical body, I felt a huge burst of Venusian energy, a huge burst. I'm talking like huge magnitudes, huge quantities of Venusian energy, and yeah, it just felt really great. Okay, it just felt really great, and that was pretty much it. That was essentially my stay in Venus and how it looks. Okay, you're gonna see a lot of different spirits there. Okay, a lot of different spirits there. Mostly Venusian spirits, as well as just different Venusian angels, whether fallen or celestial. As well as I also saw an Enochian spirit there that corresponds. He was just essentially visiting. I know this guy, but he was just there. He was just visiting this plane, and it was because he corresponds to, or he's associated with Venus. He reminds me of Aepio, someone who I have a working with right now, a fiery senior angel, a fiery Enochian senior angel that corresponds to the element of Bitom, so fire, air. I mean fire, okay, Tejas. And but yeah, this guy was essentially just he was essentially just visiting the sphere, just doing his thing. And yeah, that was pretty much all. Okay, so that was everything on Venus and my stay in Venus, and it was just great. Okay, I let's just say if you guys can astral travel as well, I highly recommend that you visit Venus as well and just have fun. Okay, so just essentially making your stay or debut within these spheres and enjoying and absorbing as much as possible the atmosphere. It's just great. So yeah, and I thank these guys as well, Abaddon, Egen, Amaimon, and audience for making their stay. I mean, for essentially visiting me within the sphere and showing me their form, their true form, and their true height and etc. and everything. It was just great, and yeah, they're telling me that you're welcome, Eduardo, and to come and visit their spheres as well whenever I can, which I will definitely be doing so, and I will touch upon their spheres as well, because not all of these guys rule over a Kabbalistic sphere, but they have their own spheres as well in the astral plane. So yeah, I'll be doing so in the future, and I'll explain everything in video form. But yeah, as of now, that is pretty much all for this video, and I'll leave you guys to it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and that is pretty much all. So thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.